into crop art now.
That was gonna be my first question. Is what are you into these days? What does that mean?
Have you ever been to the state fair in one of the horticulture buildings? They have like the seed art, they call it, or
seed
crop art.
Yeah, okay. Seed art is crop art. Okay.
Yeah, well, yeah. Officially, it's crop art, which encompasses scarecrows and seed art, and
on those little make them like the little dolls made out of
probably
corn stalks.
Corn
husk,
yeah. Well, I ran into Brian Barber at the Fall Fest up at Chester, and we both have always had an interest in it and liked it. I'm like, every year I think I should maybe do that. Anyway, so we started a little seed art group, and we meet Sundays at Hoops, and I'm finishing my first one. Second one. First one was a practice one. So, hopefully I'll be in the state fair. They take them all.
With that kind of variety of options for that, what is it specifically that you're doing? Are you making corn dolls or?
No, I'm doing a seed art piece. Do you remember the Sorry, I just woke up.
I love it. You just woke up? That's awesome. It is 4 in the morning.
Andre the Giant has a posse stickers. Do you remember those? Way back in the maybe 80s or 90s.
I can't say I do.
You're all younger. You'd probably recognize it if you saw it.
I do know Andre the Giant, though.
Shepherd Ferry kind of made this little sticker that became famous. Then it turned into the Obey thing. So I'm riffing on that using the gopher from the state fair as like the Fairchild the gopher has a posse.
Yeah. I already want to see a picture of the seed art.
It's kind of it's almost a shame this is audio only because
you could put it in the show notes.
Oh, there you go. Yeah. Well, Jason, why don't you tell us what we're doing here today?
We invited our friend Scott Lunt, a.k.a. Starfire, for multiple reasons to come down to the podcast. Obviously, Homegrown season, but also 1 Week Live season. I'm wearing the very first 1 Week Live shirt.
Oh, that is
where Father Hennepin played.
Looks good, yeah.
And Father Hennepin is spelled incorrectly. So
did we?
On par with my normal postering, going back since the beginning of time, I've always had a hard time spelling things correctly, and we only made 100 of these imprints incorrectly, but yeah.
So now, do we remember it the same that we had a show at the fair, Superior Fairgrounds, and we got bumped because there was a thunderstorm coming in. And we called you, and you were was it your first day, or you were opening the next day? I don't know.
That's even going farther back in time.
That's what I thought.
So we opened on July 26th of 1999, and you were supposed to be opening for someone.
Tracy Lawrence at the Superior Fair.
Yep, and it was a Thursday night, and I know the Black Labels were booked for Friday, and I didn't have a Thursday show, and you called up. And you're like,
Can we play?
We're loaded. We canceled our show because of rain or something.
Yeah, they bumped us. It sucked.
So So you were Father Hennepin was the first band to ever play at and you were on the very first 1 Week Live.
Yeah, and we did a really bad show.
I don't think so, but my memories haven't gotten better, but they seem like they should have been much worse back then. So,
so how were those first couple of shows then? Either day one or the first 1 Week Live?
I remember the first show, the very first show player being quite enjoyable.
I loved it. I mean, my sound system was very rough.
That's kind of what I was wondering. How was the setup?
An old carven board and a couple PV speakers, and the help of Eric Swanson to help me understand feedback a little bit, kind of like music go around throwaway items and a couple mics.
You've gone through so much equipment over the years. That's crazy.
Well, that's how it gets better, though. Every time something breaks, it's like, well, now's the time to upgrade, I guess. So
I'll never have to buy it again. And then
that's not true. That's not true.
No, never with any technology.
Although the new board now is still from mid '90s, so even the new stuff.
Well, it's kind of funny. So I have a radio show at the North, formerly KUMD, and they just replaced their board. They finally switched to all digital, but the board before that was just an analog with sliders. Yep. That thing was like 60 years old and still working. I mean, it was getting a little creaky.
Yeah.
But the new digital board is already only a few years old, and most of the buttons you have to hit a couple times. It's like, whoa, they don't make it.
I still have that old carven board. I still have my old Soundcraft, and they all still work better than so many modern things because everything's so breakable. New stuff. Yeah. Every button, it's like when you turn a thing, it's like there's nothing there. It's just everything's light. So
I think the best things about buttons and switches and levers and whatnot is the physical feedback of it. That's why else would you have it?
I still like big buttons, not just because of my eyesight, but I've done it so long. I can mix on an iPad, but it's not fun. It's like it works, but I don't like mixing on computers. It's just light and handy.
I do kind of enjoy watching the sound person be able to walk around and mix from different spots, but yeah, I suppose
that's nice.
not-
It's nice for monitors too. You can
Yeah.
go up and check the monitors and turn things up, and yeah, there's definitely advantages, and yeah.
So you've been DJing and using these boards for, how long now?
4 years.
Well, I've always, I guess, sort of at heart been a DJ, but I used to, in my old duplex that I owned, had this little weird room tiny room over the stairs that they added, but it was a perfect like DJ booth size. So I had all my CDs up there, and I would make mixtapes and then give them to people, which is actually how I got the Starfire nickname, because I gave one to a friend, and he lived in the cities, but he'd been visiting, and it was the weekend I got my Guild Starfire guitar.
Oh.
Anyway, I gave him the tape, and then he sent me a thank you note addressed to DJ Starfire. And I thought, that's kind of a good, that's a good nickname. So
it came from a guild.
yes, the old Guild
Guitar.
Starfire, which has since been stolen, but someday I feel like we'll be reunited. I don't know.
Was it the same place where I have the name Random Radio started? as
Oh
well?
yeah, actually in that room. I think we were in that room for a while. Maybe not, because it was kind of hard to access the antenna, but that was mostly in my basement, not unlike this basement. Not built out and pretty like this, but
This just got that way thanks to Corey Kaufman and Dan Dresser, because this
it looks great.
it smelled much worse and sounded much worse and looked much worse. And
Yeah, it was mostly in my basement, and it was a crazy year and a half or so.
Oh, is it how long? And so I do happen to know how that ended just slightly, but how did that in particular start then too? Because for those who don't know, it was a pirate radio station.
Yeah. I mean, pirate radio kind of had a thing in the late '90s there, and it was kind of in the news a lot.
pump up the volume.
Yeah, that, and then there was a guy in Minneapolis who had a beat radio, I think they called it, and that was like just all dance music station. Anyway, and I had a pretty good job and a little disposable income, and one of the guys I worked with, I told him, it might be kind of fun to do that, and it was a gear guy, and we just found some gear, and I bought some gear, and just because I already had turntables and CD players, and I think we spent like $1,200 and bought a transmitter and just
I forget how
started
it did end up.
broadcast. I get a letter from the FCC.
Just a
finally.
letter. They didn't kick your door in.
No.
You weren't
It
driving
was
through
very,
the desert in a
very
Jeep.
Nothing too exciting.
very non-climactic. I mean, and I was kind of ready to at least have it outside of my.
I used to tune into that
house.
though. I did.
Oh, you were close. Yeah, you
I
could
was
have picked it
close.
up. Yeah, it was
Hillsiders.
It was funny. You could pick it up in Bayfield. Maybe not that far, but as long as out over the lake, it would go good. But 3 blocks over my house, you couldn't hear it just because the way that FM works. But
That's funny. So have you lived on the hillside your whole life? Are you
my
from
whole
Duluth?
Duluth life, yeah. Well, I lived for a month. Well, almost a year actually at Emerson when I first
cool.
came, and then bought the duplex I lived in. Lived there for a long time, and then bought the A-frame finally.
But you're from Duluth.
No, I'm from Austin, Minnesota.
Oh, all right. Charlie Parland, right?
Yeah. He and I are native Austin.
And Martin Zeller
Marty, yep.
and Hormel. Or
Hormel,
Spam.
And
The
both.
Spam Museum.
Oh, like spam.
Spam.
Oh,
yeah.
I thought it was just somebody referencing spam. Oh,
No, it's actually it's a pretty cool museum. I mean, I haven't been to the new one, but the old one was cool, so I'm sure the new one's even better.
Well, I always walk by your house, the A-frame. I think it that was always like my odd dream house. Like, that house looks so cool. And then you bought it. I was like, you bought that house.
Well, we were looking at buying something, and so we'd already been pre-approved, and we were kind of in motion looking at properties when that came on sale. I think we bought it the day or two after it went on the market.
That's a good find.
And we seemed like we paid way too much for it, but now I'm happy, I guess.
Well, yeah.
Nothing goes down in that.
Well, and then so we're both living on the hillside, and I just put solar on this year. So but I noticed a post and I don't know anything about this, but you were like, I need some help with a heat pump water heater.
No, heat pump. Well, they have those as well.
What do you have?
Are we going to talk?
Why not? I'm
energy?
curious.
Yeah,
I'm
go
curious
for it.
about this a little bit.
yeah.
Well, I'm into a rebate. I love a rebate, so I checked. Our dryer died,
Oh, it's a dryer. Okay,
Yeah.
heat pump dryer.
And so I went to see if they had any rebates on anything. And I saw heat pump dryer. I understand heat pump technology, but I didn't know
Yeah.
they actually have dryer. They're ductless. They don't vent to the
Yeah.
outside. And it's our favorite thing.
Where do you drill a hole in the dirt?
No, there's
How do
no.
you-
It's all
understand.
self-contained. The air, it takes heat from the air, just like a heat pump. Concentrates it and puts it through the clothes. Well, then that air goes through like a separate stage. It's like a dehumidifier, so all that water condenses out, and then it pumps it into your sink.
Well, so what is the heat pump part then?
The heat pump is just. It looks like you have some here hanging on the outside of the building, maybe, or.
Oh, those are old broken air
Oh.
conditioners.
Well, yeah, the heat pumps now, they can move heat either direction. So you can make air conditioning in the summer, but you can also draw heat, because there's heat in air always, but it condenses it down through compression. And
Interesting. I mean, we have an all-in-one washer dryer that is super efficient, and it doesn't. It's
does that
ventless.
vent to the outside? Or?
It just doesn't vent. I don't know
Okay,
what
so
happens.
that's the same thing. That's
it
a heat
just
pump.
drips the water down the.
Yeah, that's a heat pump.
Huh.
So yeah, you
I
got
have
too.
one then.
Yeah.
Oh my gosh! It said it uses half the energy and half the water, and
Boy.
Yeah.
there was a scratch and dent one for $500, so I bought it.
Geez, jealous.
What's great
yeah.
though is if you're like me, if you only wash your clothes maybe like once a month or something like that, I always forget I'm doing it, and then I remember it like 2 weeks later, and my clothes are all moldy. So then I've washed my clothes so many times, 2 or 3 times before they get to the dryer. So this was like
Dream.
I have not molded a load of laundry ever since, and so I mean it's amazingly more efficient than my old method.
Yeah, heat pump. I highly recommend them. They take a little bit longer,
Yeah, they take a long time.
but yeah, ours is actually not that bad. But
And you forget what it is. It's like, what's that? Because it sits and thinks, and then it turns a
it's-
little bit. And oh, that's so funny. I was like, heat pump dryer. I was like, I'm thinking heat pumps. Don't you have to like drill way down and get to the earth? Oops, sorry.
That sounds.
it's another
Like a
kind of heat pump. Yeah.
Yeah, that's what I was imagining.
So, no wonder you're wondering about it.
I know.
Boy, that sounds like a massive.
a lot of work
project.
for a dryer. Yeah.
We neander. We don't really have a.
No.
So the whole reason we even do the podcast is, well, because I wanted to try to put music online in a different way, and Terry's like, you can't do that, but you should still do the podcast. And so he's like, I'm like, but how? And he's like, well, just conversations about the community of the cafe. And I was like, oh, okay. So then we just start this list of all the fun people, Karin Kramer, and so, and to me, you're definitely one of the longest fun community friends that we've.
Well, yeah, not only for being here so early on at literally at this cafe, but also, I mean, as the originator of Homegrown, somebody who and your radio show, center your time around supporting local artists, the local music scene, and I think that's worth highlighting.
Yeah, I should be pointed out that I only did the first 6 or 7. I can't even remember now. So
And it started as a birthday party.
I'd read
but
6.
yeah, I think it was 6. Yeah, I was working on the 7th, and I'm like, screw
Yeah, I
this. I can't do
I
this
remember
anymore.
that time. That was a weird year.
Not a good organizer. I tried to do everything on my own, and as things got bigger, you can't do it on your.
Well, and then you got people and feelings and emotions. and
Oh yeah, I mean, kudos to them for
it's a lot of work. It's
Oh, I can
become
imagine.
enormous.
Yeah, at least, I mean,
Yeah.
they seem like they have a really great system now, and kind of
Well,
But-
it's so interesting because is it 25, 26? What year?
26.
26. So I mean, well, just to say, a good portion of the staff that works at the cafe weren't even around. So it's like
Oh right.
that's what's interesting too. It's like there's like literally a whole generation of people that they've never heard of the Black Labels, or it's like all these iconic bands of the
Yeah,
day.
They've got their own black labels.
Yeah. Yeah.
Yeah, I have to give the mayor's speech this year because our new mayor isn't coming, and
Isn't coming?
Long story.
Huh.
Yeah, he's not participating. So
Okay.
they asked me to do it, and then I'm not a great public speaker. I mean, it'd be more fun. Maybe we should just set up on stage and just-
Pre-record.
Oh.
You could pre-record it, and then
and
you
lip
could
sync.
lip sync it. There was a
That's
band that
brilliant.
did that at a show one time. They handed out all these like little clippings of articles from like Cosmopolitan, and in between songs, I'd hit play, and I'd play these pre-recorded things of them reading little snippets of these articles, and they would lip sync them with a flash, and a light would go on them, and it was so funny and so surreal. I think that would be really cool.
All right,
Pre-recorded and then lip sync it. I think that would be awesome.
We have the technology.
Yeah.
Anyway, I've been. I asked Don and Emily if they would come up with me. I thought, well, I'll bring the old mares up, and they both agreed. And then I just realized, no, I need to do this on my own, and so.
Where's it at this year? Is it
Hoops?
Still at Hoops. Yep.
Sort of
Yep.
I just had to
On
come up
Sunday.
with 5 minutes. Yeah,
Oh,
coming up this Sunday.
Coming
I
up
better
Sunday,
start
4
writing.
o'clock? 5?
I better check.
Better-
that.
me
I
too.
know it's in there.
I know the first performance is at like 10 or something.
In the morning?
Yeah.
On Sunday?
Yeah.
Oh, maybe they do some kids stuff.
Wow.
early.
That's what it was. Yeah, it was some kids thing. Yeah,
That's
yeah.
cool. We just had the 1 week live, just got the last show last night. So as soon as that's done, the release, then I think Homegrown, because it's like I have to put an end on this before I can get into that. It's like,
But I suppose luckily all you have to do is show up and perform.
oh, for Homegrown?
Yeah, yeah.
Mostly.
You're not planning that, are you? I mean, you're not involved in.
No. Well,
'Cause, I mean,
we have 3 shows here. And
Oh, do you? Oh, so
yeah,
you're
we have
involved a little
Wednesday,
bit. Okay,
Friday, Saturday
okay.
here. Yeah.
I suppose. Okay.
3
yeah,
nights.
Yeah.
Awesome.
Yeah. Probably because all age venue.
Oh yeah.
It's
They
hard to
can
find
use
all
all the
these
venues.
venues.
They
Yeah.
can, yeah.
But I love the Homegrown events because we get the early ones. We're starting at like 6 o'clock, and
Yeah.
That's a good time to
it's
start.
hard to be 1 in the morning. It's like, oh, I really want to see those guys, but I do work at 6 in the morning. So
Yeah.
that's the problem.
How much sleep do I need?
I gave up years ago trying to catch
Yeah.
every night. Yeah. Well,
I still love it though. It's like catch a bunch of new stuff that I don't know, because there is quite a few things every year, and I'll be like, what is this? And I love that there's the bios, and I don't know if you're into the local scene, it even having a venue and playing this much, it's there's always so much new stuff.
what do you think? I'll ask you because people ask me this once in a while. Do you think, there's all these bands. Do you think there are a lot of people that never would have tried music without this festival? Or would all these bands have existed? Some people are going to make music no matter what.
Duluth it's got something going on with incubating music for its population to have this many bands in general. And I think it keeps getting more diverse too. Because I feel like it used to just be kind of like the R.T. Quinlan's rock and roll type stuff, punk basement parties and then cover bands is what I remember when I moved to town. But maybe I was totally oblivious. But now I feel like there's a jazz scene. There's a lot of different styles of stuff going on. I don't know. There's jam band scene. There's a pretty substantial metal scene. So I don't know. I feel like
I don't think you can say Duluth has a sound at all anymore.
not so much. I don't think so. No, people argue it's bluegrass, trampled by turtles sound, but there's a moment where that was definitely a prevailing wind, but I don't think it's a stuck sound in any way at this point.
It seems to be kind of almost, if anything, based on the venue you're going to, what you're going to listen to.
Yep.
Yeah.
So, which I think is probably better. I don't know.
If anything,
but-
just the brewery scene is changing the sound.
That has helped
sure.
a lot too, having some.
Yeah.
Because they can afford to maybe. They can afford to have the music. I guess I don't know what. But
there's a little more.
Just strictly, if you're trying to
Yeah.
open just a music venue, that is a tough road.
It is a tough road.
But if you have a successful business selling beer
Yeah.
and have the room for a stage,
But then again, too, if you're trying to have a music style that fits with drinking beer, and when you think of a lot of punk clubs, even early days 7th Street Entry and R.T. Quinlan's, and all these bands really had to build up their fan base to pack this bar to actually make it, where it's there's less of those venues now, I think, and more breweries. So you're probably not going to have a lot of screamo or
that's true.
Really stage diving punk. It's because that would. When I moved to town, there was a lot more stage diving punk type things going on, which I can understand not wanting to do those shows because people get hurt and
Wait, when
bleed.
did you move here? What year?
I bought my house in '95 and moved up
Okay,
here.
so
Yeah.
I'm a little bit. I think it was '92 when I
Okay,
came.
yeah. But those years, I started coming up here in maybe '93 and hanging out, and the Blues Fest was always here, and there's Bayfront. But everything's expanded unbelievably. I think since
because even Homegrown started out as your birthday party, right?
Yeah, the first one was just
and 10 acts.
yeah. The first real year. The genesis of it was my 30th birthday. So
Okay.
my 31st birthday was the first
Oh, I see.
Homegrown
Okay.
because the 30th birthday was so much fun. And we were like, we should do it again and have all the bands in Duluth play, which were about 10 at the time.
And so but nowadays it's more like 200. So
I don't even know
remember.
it's a lot.
That's what I
I don't
kept-
think
I
they
kept
let
reading-
quite that many because it just gets to be there.
I kept reading that over and over again. 175, 190, 200.
Yeah, I think they've been years with more. It
kinda seems to-
but they definitely there's a,
So
a
it's
number
grown,
that's manageable. That,
The whole music scene in Duluth, no matter what, is, I think, it has to have grown immensely, I think, because I just don't imagine there's a bunch of bands that were just hiding out in houses.
so I think Homegrown, it gave people permission to
Yeah.
just try. They're not going to be professional musicians or but gave a venue to get on stage once a year or something.
And it probably spurred things like Kamikaze and Ides of March and all these other, the Sacred Heart does whatever the next artist, all these other community-like events, I think, probably grew out of Homegrown. I would guess.
one more, Homegrown once a year isn't enough.
It's not enough. No.
Well, yeah, right. If you're a musician who wants to keep playing music, you're gonna have to try to find more places to do that.
I kind of like the clique of people that surround each one of those events too. Like if you go to one of the Duluth Does events, that's a specific group of people, or kind of a chunk that all do everyone. And Kamikaze's like its own group of people.
And I know there's got to be a punk house scene. I mean, I know Dirt Bike Boyfriend would be in the know more than me, but I'm sure there's a current day Alibi or not Alibi, but the Alibi, was that it?
I don't remember that.
There's all these,
the basement
moving
parties.
basement punk house, till you get evicted. Then the name stays the same. It goes to a new house or whatever.
One band that's coming to mind right now is Roadside Casino.
Yeah,
I've seen them around a fair bit.
Yep. They're doing their tour kickoff show here coming up actually in June,
Oh, that's exciting.
or maybe coming up.
Wussow's plug right there. Right?
Yeah.
When do we do the ads? Do we get to read some ads?
You can do an ad.
Anything you want to promote?
Do you have any old T-shirts left from your screen printing days? You
funny,
need to
I
move.
actually do have. I have a couple T-shirts left. They're all like double or triple X. That's the size you never sell out of. I have some. Remember the Boogeyman project we did at the North Shore one year? We made glow in the dark shirts. That's actually. I should see if I can.
I
sell
love
that on
those
eBay.
glow in the dark shirts. I think it's probably a very toxic chemical, but I have an Erie Arc glow in the dark shirt that still glows, like from 15 years ago. It's like, what is in that shirt that still glows? I'll be walking down a dark hallway and I'm like, what's happening? I'm like, oh, I have this shirt on.
It's buzzing, glowing.
It's so cool.
So so screen printing business, and then Homegrown for a little while. You radio DJ at KUMD or the North or whatever, depending on where you are in time. And I've also saw you were quilting or maybe are quilting.
Still do. I mean, a little less. I had like a crazy couple of years, and I still make them.
Keep busy.
Wait for a good idea. Yeah, I have. In fact, I recently decided on my tombstone I wanted to just say he had a lot of hobbies. He never mastered anything, but he had a lot of hobbies.
Yeah. And then
Keeps
also
it fresh.
I mean, you started
had a lot.
Perfect Duluth Day. Is that
Yeah. That was the same time roughly as Homegrown. Well, it's not as old as Homegrown, but all these things sort of like they all have a common genesis. Like it's something that's sort of in the news. Like blogs were kind of in the news, and community web blogs were really fun. And this is pre-Facebook, and the Perfect Duluth Day name was just kind of floating around in my head. So Barrett Chase and I
kind of forget
started
that
it
was
up.
your thing because now it's been Lunt or not Lunt, but Paul
they
Lundgren.
kept it going. Yeah, and it's that times it's not. Cause every once in a while I'm like, why don't you just
I remember
have like
the stickers way back though.
Yeah, the stickers they still have those, but a lot of my fun things like something in common, like it's something that's sort of kind of popular, and then like I'll come up with a good name, and the Perfect Duluth Day is a good name.
It is, yeah.
And like someone else to like go into it with me. Like Barrett took the techie end of it, and we just set it up and
Park Point is for lovers.
Park Points for Lovers. Yeah, I stole that name. Yeah.
What is that?
I don't know.
Oh, it was a T-shirt. I made.
T-shirt,
okay.
like sticker or something. Yeah,
That's a good shirt.
it is a good shirt.
Being a non-native, do you think there is something about? I seem to ask this to everybody. Something about Duluth in particular that makes it any of your work better or worse, or does it? I mean, does the area affect you? Do you think, or do you think you're having more of an effect on the area?
Winters definitely affect you, I feel like, like,
In a good way or bad way?
It's year to year. Winter, I don't mind until like, March, April, May. This year's been obviously way different, but sometimes it gets a little long, or even in June when it's like 85 in Minneapolis and like 45 here in foggy. That's trying.
I really do love the cool foggy days of Duluth and,
you have
and
to
the
just
long
sort of
winters
embrace
and
it.
lots of snow.
All right, you belong here.
I do too.
I know.
I
I
do,
only used my
yeah.
plow truck once this year. It's like, what?
Yeah, I like the permission to just sort of be inside and hunker down and pick up a project.
I miss the old days of when places would stay open and you would snowshoe or cross-country ski down to the brew house or something. In a snowstorm.
Yeah, I wish we'd have had that last big storm we had. I wanted it to be like 20% bigger.
Yeah,
Wasn't
way
quite,
bigger.
Wasn't quite
Like stuck in your house and
the walk in a blizzard
yeah,
to the open bars.
yes, survival mode.
Now, I was agreeing with you guys, and now I think I'm on a different page now. I don't see
Well,
that,
just
but-
because there was camaraderie. Like
suppose,
you roll up in that day. The brew house was not so much a bar as like it was a different scene. It was a music venue, and literally, you could come down in 2 feet of snow, and the hallway of Fitkers would be full of ski gear, and
Oh, right. I remember this.
and people are all sweaty from coming in from the snow and fogged up from all the moisture and melting snow. So it was like I don't know.
It was a vibe.
It was a vibe.
Yeah,
Kind of a smelly vibe, but
Yeah.
the locker room vibe. But good one. I also have to point out, because when I opened this place, and probably when we first started hanging out a little bit, I came from like, more punk, rock, ska. So you're I would say one of the main people that turned me on to alt country.
Uh-huh.
And Clem Snide played here.
Oh, yeah. That was
And
a good show.
the day I broke my collarbone, so I'm doing sound for Clem Snide, can barely stay standing up. But I would say Uncle Tupelo. You turned me on to all this, Sunvolt, and I love that style of music. It's probably what ended up playing with Sarah Softitch and that whole Americana scene, and Robbie opened for Robbie Foggs, and I had nothing to do with that scene. I came from the country, and I was like, I hate country music, and I was like, wait. This is a different kind of country music.
Yeah, especially I love when a punk act crosses over into
cowpunk.
country.
Yeah,
that's
and I got to play in the Branditos, and it's like.
Yeah, honestly, I remember, way back then, like the Uncle Tupelo and everything. I thought that it would sort of have its time and kind of, maybe fizzle out. But man, it's just been going strong. And like,
I listen
so
to that
diverse. Yeah,
all the time. Still, I always want to pull up Uncle Tupelo and Sunvolt. I Jayhawks too, but especially Uncle Tupelo. Like that just has this punky, gritty. I don't know. It's like
so my story about Uncle Tupelo is like I was a huge and still am a huge Gear Daddies fan.
Yeah, and
because they're from my
Gear Daddies.
hometown.
Yeah.
And when they broke up, like I was devastated. Like, oh no, they're breaking up. But they had a show in Austin at the fairgrounds, and one of the acts opening up for them was Uncle Tupelo, and that was like when they were
Opening
still
for the Gear Daddies.
Yeah,
Wow.
and they were still kind of on their rise. They hadn't.
That's cool.
And I was just like, oh my God, they just blew me away. I went and like bought all their CDs the next day, and like, so it's funny how from the death of one thing can lead you to something else. But then of course the Gear Daddies still play. So
yeah, I love the Gear Daddies. I love the 3-Day Vacation in the Dells tune. I don't know why.
Yeah.
It's like that one's always pops in my head.
Load the car, board the dog, head down Interstate 94, something like that. Yeah, that's a good song. I finally got to meet Martin because I did an interview with him before his solo
I heard that
release.
interview.
Yeah.
I was like, this sounds live. I'm like, it was on the North.
Yeah. I
Before
called him
show,
from.
yeah.
He lives in Mexico, and I called him at his house. And we did the phone.
He's
interview,
talking about
and-
his son and the new
Yeah,
record.
his
I'm like,
son produced
I'm like,
it
this
and
is Scott.
recorded it.
It's like, what is this? Is this now?
What
This
a
modern?
Nice, what a nice guy.
He's
So
super.
nice.
He played here once, and it was great. Him and Charlie Parr. That was like the Austin boys, I guess. That was.
Yeah, he's even got me thinking about moving down to Mexico. He's
Weird.
lived there for quite a while.
That'd be a change
Some
of
good
pace.
food.
Oh yeah.
Got to sneak a little food in every podcast.
Well, it's important. We all got to eat.
You like to cook too.
We cook a lot. Yeah, we roast our own coffee.
Wow.
That's true. And you make your own sourdough.
Got the sourdough, yeah.
Yeah.
It's like more in the winter, obviously, but
You
yeah.
roast your own coffee. Where do you source the green beans?
Sweet Maria's out of Oakland, California.
Okay, I don't know, but that's cool.
Yeah, no, we like it because you can get lots of different kinds, so you're never like drinking the same.
And did you
coffee.
make your roaster? Do you buy a roaster?
We bought a roaster. It's a Beemore roaster. Yeah, we've been roasting for like 15 years.
Is it like not a 1 pound roaster? It must be.
Yeah, you could do a pound.
You can do a whole pound.
Yeah.
So you vented? You have a vented roaster?
Well, we put it underneath our vent in the
Your oven?
stove, and it's got like an
Oh.
afterburner thing in it,
I was
so it
gonna
kind
say,
of burns off some of the smoke. I mean, it definitely has a when you're roasting for sure. But,
It's. Yeah.
but we just have to roast like once a week, maybe twice.
That's
but.
pretty. Do you go dark? You go light?
No, we like
Really
first crack,
Awesome.
city. Yeah, well,
Yeah.
we Ethiopians are just my.
Sadamo or
I
Yurgachev?
can't remember what all. Yeah, I mean they get a lot of different. Cause
I
it's-
love Ethiopian. I would say
God, it's just
Ethiopian is my
such a-
favorite coffee. Natural Ethiopian.
Oh,
Yurgachev, but Sadamo.
that berry, that like blueberry,
fruity.
Oh
Yep.
man,
I would say that's my favorite coffee. That's why I have it at my house right now. I won't say who it's from because I have too many coffee friends.
And it's one of them.
But it's a natural Ethiopian and it's delicious.
It's your favorite friend who is.
No. But we should get him on the podcast.
Yeah. But we won't tell you when. You never know.
We'll have to take a picture. We'll have to get a little picture. We have one other guest in the studio tonight, and it's Gus.
Gus?
Dottie.
What? Dottie?
Dottie is her name. Yeah.
Dottie?
How did you get Gus?
I thought you said Gus. Oh.
Oh, they're close. They're
Well,
close.
I never was good at names
Dottie.
or spelling. Dottie?
Yeah, no, she's
How did I
she's
hear
just
Gus?
asleep on the carpet here.
Well, Dottie's 17
Waiting for her
and
walk.
very sweet friend down here. Probably like, when's dinner? Where's my walk?
She eats once a day, and after 5.
Well, it's been a blast. I think, I don't know, any other fun ideas or hopes and dreams, thoughts?
I just want to retire.
Retire.
Same here.
I don't know if I want to retire.
Well, I'll
No?
I'll do stuff. I just want to like not have to be anywhere at any special time. My father never ceases to remind me that he retired at 55, which is how old I am now.
Oh,
And yeah,
thanks,
he's
Dad.
like, yeah. This is that last of a generation where it's sort of a pension. You put in a certain amount of time and you're done, and you get paid the rest of your life. Health care taken care of. And
What did he do?
he worked for the city of Austin, like
Okay.
utility company.
Huh.
Wow, you got to retire at 55.
And how old is he now?
He's 75, so he's been retired for 20 years. So he's actually had a
great.
real retirement.
God, that city is like, we can't do this pension stuff anymore.
Yeah, no, yeah, that's why they don't do it anymore. Save your own money.
Well, yeah, because back in the early days, it's like, all right, you can retire because you're gonna die in 4 years. So, but no,
You can retire at 55 because you're going to be dead by 60.
yeah,
Yeah, it's a lot of people end up. Yeah, they hit that retirement and then they just like get something and they're gone. Sounds awful.
No
I
thanks.
also think some people retire and they have almost like 4 more jobs that they've always wanted to do.
Oh, right, yeah,
and
I
they
think they
they're
don't-
almost busier, but and then
And
sometimes
that's fine. I don't mind being busy. I just
Busy
wanna
doing what
do
you wanna do.
Yeah, that's
Yeah.
the difference, I think. But also, some people just like their work and their community at work and their friends are all at work, and then they
Yeah,
retire
once,
and they're like, "Uh-oh,
No,
to be with this significant other now, and I don't really have any hopes and dreams." And you could just see it sometimes, like, "Oh no."
Just twiddling their thumbs for 40 years. But with all that you've already done in your retirement, what do you think you'd get up to? Like, what are your future
I don't know.
future
I
artistic goals or whatever?
kind of think I would be kind of fun to for a while, or maybe just like 4 weeks on, 4 weeks off, like do the van life thing. I don't think I don't think I'd want to full time it, but like be able to like for 3 weeks we're gonna go, no real
Yeah.
plan, just
Yeah.
sort of zigzag around, or
I like that without the van. I think I had enough van life. So
well, bigger van, those comfortable
I just-
vans,
I don't know. I'd rather be like
Airstream life.
a week in a tent and then like a hot tub suite. So like
Okay.
hard one way, hard the other. Like the spots where you park those vans and the people around, it's like I'd rather just like be in a town with good food and like live it up, and then go farther into the woods and
All right.
a little deeper maybe.
Or a hotel with a hot tub.
Yeah, I mean, I'm sort of. I don't really love
public
hot tubs, actually.
Oh, no.
I mean, I say that, but not really. Maybe hot springs.
There you go.
Natural hot springs.
Have you ever been to one?
I love hot springs.
Oh,
I've like booked whole tours around hot springs and tried to get like off day shows like at hot springs where we can stay there and play some kind of show and get to stay there for free and get, you know, it's like it's a Tuesday. What the heck?
If you ever go to Costa Rica, they have like this one area where they have all these resorts built on
I have been there.
Oh, man.
I've actually been to, because Brandon used to live by La Fortuna up in the Cloud Forest, and
that's where
I
we
went there
were,
for 3 weeks and hung out and walked up this 3-mile dirt road. Everyone's got mud boots and machetes, and but then you go to this American land where everything's like, it's like Duluth prices and these hot springs.
The resorts.
It's just like
all the different temperature pools. It was
it's cool. It's very cool. Yeah. My old favorite little spot is two in Montana, Norris Hot Springs, Water of the Gods. It's an old mining camp, hot springs, and they have a plexiglass yurt, and they have live music, and they have a greenhouse with thermal, and they grow all these like greens, and they have salads, and they have like local bison. You get a bison burger with a local salad and get some food, and then soak in the hot springs, and there's music. It's like $7, and you can camp there.
Oh, jeez. All
It's
right.
it's on the Madison River, which is also the boiling river. But then if you want to live it up a little more, you can go down south of Livingston to Chico Hot Springs, and they have it's been there for over 100 years, and they have a big pool, and you know it's just soak under the stars, look at the mountains, and
Oh, all
That
right.
sounds incredible.
I like Pagosa Springs is really nice. That's out in Colorado, kind of by Salida area.
Yeah, you need to lead tours, hot spring tours.
Yeah, Taos, New Mexico has a bunch. Stagecoach.
We should take this show on the go. That's what we should do.
I do love hot springs. Because I don't like chlorine, but I love hot
Yeah,
water.
they're fresh.
You know?
Yeah.
I feel guilty like running a bath. That's so much water.
I know.
But this water is
not me.
already hot and
Baths
it's
every
there.
day.
I don't
so-
feel guilty enough, but I'll do it anyway.
There's a spot in Utah, Monroe Hot Springs. I think they changed the name, but this old hippie started it, and he used to tour with the Dead and did a bunch of acid, and he used to be the film guy, so he would like have bands come, he'd film them, and I played there once, and like 2 people came. It's like in a super Mormon area, and we stayed there and we hung out. We had breakfast with him, and he would just took the natural hot springs and like made trenches, and it would flow into old claw tub bathtubs, and you just go jump in a bathtub hanging out. Those odd in the hiking ones, but now I want to go to the hot springs.
All right.
Let's go
me too.
west.
Let's go right now.
You know, I'd never put much thought into hot springs, but now I also would really like to go.
It's worth it.
Sounds
You
like
got to go west. So I'm like, does Alabama have any hot
No,
springs? No. There's mineral springs, but that was the craze in the turn of the century, but not. It's kind of a hoax.
Well, thanks for having me.
Thank
Yeah,
you.
thanks for coming.
Happy birthday. When is your real birthday?
May 7th.
Oh, that's right. It is. It's
56 this
May
year.
7th.
That's a
Probably
respectable
older than
time.
your father, I imagine.
Yeah.
Oh, jeez.
Hey, that happens to me all the time.
I do have young parents, though. It's worth noting. My parents
I had
were
young parents.
they were
too.
in their early 20s when they had me.
Yeah,
so
my parents were 19 when they had me. So
Yeah.
and as you get older and older, you feel like even closer to their age. Like that 20 years is like nothing when you're in your 50s or 60s.
It is weird.
Oh, are you performing anywhere else besides Homegrown that people should know about?
Yeah, we're playing one of those Glen Sheen on the pier shows.
Oh my gosh.
Okay.
You've done those, haven't you?
I know.
Oh, yeah.
I'm a bad pusher.
No, we didn't even. I know we're the same way. We don't ask if they've reached
we
out.
say
I'm
yes
like, all
if we
right.
can, but I don't be like, hey, I don't even know who's doing it anymore.
Yeah, so I'm excited about July 3rd. We're gonna.
That's so
Okay.
cool.
See,
July 3rd, that's a great day to do it.
Yeah, I hope so. It's like a midweek, July 4th. So
Yeah,
that should, yeah.
some people will be gone, some people will be here.
I'll be here.
I think I'll be here too. Yeah, I'll go to
Wednesday the 3rd.
Yeah, and I
Perfect.
normally that's our radio show night. So
You could
Hard to do
broadcast
things.
live.
yeah, maybe we should. Bring the
Yeah, give that a
station.
whirl.
Fire up the old random radio gear.
Yes. Do you still have any of that equipment anymore?
I do have it all, actually. And I have a friend, I don't know if you know Jer and Annie. Jer's sort of he can fix anything. it was gonna, because it kind of broke down over time, and I think he could just go through it and make it work again.
A little solder here and there.
Favorite solder joint.
Output amp.
Yeah.
I say that like I know. I don't.
Yeah,
I
I know the word solder too.
Yeah.
Dotsy, you ready to go?
Oh yes.
Dotsy, sorry I called you Gus.
That's a good dog.
Yeah.